Hi everybody, welcome back to Small Caliber Arms Review. I'm Richard. Today we're going to be taking a look at this. Now we've already taken a look at this one. This is an 1890 Winchester. This is the one I've got in 22 short. 22 short is a awesome caliber. It's a lot of fun. It's not too noisy. You're not going to disturb a whole lot of people when you're out plinking with a little bit of 22 shorts. Very versatile, but this gun only fires 22 shorts because of the way that it's made. It can only handle them. It can't do shorts, longs, and long rifles. The 1890 Winchester was chambered in all three, and they are all three a separate gun. Later on, I think the 1906s were able to do that. Certainly the 62As were able to handle all three. But this one, you seen me do a video on it before, and I had some issues with it, mostly just the extraction. So what that means is that the chamber in this thing, in the end of this barrel, is absolutely shot. I had bulging cases. I think I only fired 3 rounds, and it was just more trouble than it was worth to try to shoot any more. So there's only one thing you can do to cure that, and that's to cut a new chamber. Now you can't cut the chamber any bigger, so what you need to do is you need to reline it. So I've got some 22 short barrel liners here. I've got 2 of them. I bought one for this gun, and I bought one just in case I come across another one. This is a tube that is already rifled. Now this is specifically rifled for 22 short. I think it's a 1 in 20 twist in it. It's going to be a little bit different than a 22 long rifle. And this is a 25-inch, 26-inch liner. So the barrel on here is only, I think it's 24. Yeah, it's 24 inches. They make these a little bit long, and what I got to do is I got to drill all the way through there to put that liner in, because obviously the liner is, you know, same diameter on the inside as what the barrel is here. And to do that, since I don't have a lathe, I do have one of these. This is a special drill bit made specifically for putting liners in. Now it's, I think it's 0.315 on the OD. Yes, 0.315 on the OD, which is slightly bigger than the liner. And the first inch of it has been ground down to fit the inside, and I don't want to, I'll put it in this end because it's not that critical. This is going to fit inside there, and it's going to allow me to bore out that barrel without worrying about getting off a little bit. This will guide it all the way through there. Now it's only long enough to do half the barrel at a time, so I've got to drill from both directions. And what I've definitely got to do is I got to get the barrel off of here. Now once I get that put in there, I'm going to seal it in there with some Loctite 620. This is what they recommend for putting this in, or you can use acryglass, or you can solder it. To solder it, you have to get this whole thing up to the right temperature, the barrel and the liner, to get that solder to pull into there and fill in any gaps between the liner and the barrel. That takes a lot of heat, big torch, not a tremendous high temperature, but a lot of volume of heat to get it right. Once I get that done, then I've got to cut a new chamber in there, and I do have a chamber reamer. This is a finish reamer for 22 short, and then I got to re-crown the end of it. Now this is just a flat crown, 1 inch diameter, and I've got a pilot on there for 22 caliber, so 22 longs, long rifles, shorts, whatever. The diameter is the same. This will fit down in the end of that without damaging it because it's brass. And I have already tried it just a little bit on the end of this barrel just to see how well it cuts. And the end of this barrel was chewed up a little bit, and it's gonna get a little bit more. Hopefully I will get all this in there, get it chambered, get it finished up and everything. And I will probably weld just the end of the barrel there, so the liner to the barrel, and I will probably do the chamber end too. Now I've got to cut a little bit on the chamber there to get the extractors to be able to reach in there and grab the shell when it, you know, to extract it. There's only one extractor on this thing, so one side of it, and it should be a pretty easy one. Now I don't have to worry too much about headspace. The rim actually fits flush on the end of the barrel, on the chamber end there. I've just got to make sure it's cut far enough in there for the shell to go all the way in there. So yeah, it does headspace on the rim on here. There's no recessed chamber in there, so my chamber reamer is going to stop right there. I don't need to cut any deeper than that. So anyways, I got to get this thing all taken apart and get it ready and start boring out this barrel. Not going to be fun. This will be my first time ever doing it, but hopefully everything will come out all right. All right, I've got everything taken apart, the receiver off of the barrel, and now it's time to get this thing clamped up in the vise and start drilling. I'm a little leery about doing this, but it's the only hope for this thing, and if nothing else, I guess if I screw it up, I could buy a replacement barrel. Cutting the chamber on here might be a little tricky. I'm going to take some good pictures of it and maybe a few measurements and stuff. That way I can verify that I get it back the right way. It's a simple single cut on the one side there, a slight bevel on the end. Some of that will be taken out with the drill. But yeah, that chamber's in bad shape. It's actually oval, which is not good, and I'll bet it's not even close to being flat. Yeah, I don't want to try cutting anything on there yet. Anyways, time to get to drilling. Okay, so I finally got this thing bored out. There's a nice big 0.315 inch hole that goes all the way through this thing, or 8mm. Had a little difficulty. Well, see, when I bought this drill bit, I bought it probably about a year or so ago, and it's been sitting in the little tube there for quite some time, and today I finally decided was the day I was going to go ahead and do this. I didn't get too far, and well, I broke the tip off of it, the little part that guides it in there. Luckily, since I know how Murphy's Law works, I bought a backup just in case. And I broke the tip on it too. So after going and pouting for a little bit and drinking a couple cups of coffee, I decided, you know what? I got nothing to lose. I'm gonna try to grind a new point on this, one of these bits that I broke. So I did. And I had to hand shape the cutting edge of it, just like sharpening a drill bit, just not quite as wide. And I don't have to worry about the point because I just needed a guide. There's already a hole through the middle, so I'm not worried about boring the new hole in there. A little tricky, a lot of work to get it pretty accurate, and I finally got the hole drilled all the way through there. So I'm not going to throw either one of these away because these things are expensive. When I bought the first one, it was like $74. When I bought the second one almost a year later, it went up by another 10 bucks. And I was gonna go ahead and order another one, and when I looked on there, they are $99 now for this drill bit, which is quite pricey, and the only difference is that it's got that tapered end on it there. It's not really tapered, it's stepped. It comes down, comes out, and then down to 0.315. So I fit everything up to the new liner for the inside for the point of it, and just had to sharpen those two flats there to get it to cut, and it didn't do too bad. I think the reason the original points broke on there is because these are extremely aggressive. I had a heck of a time when it would finally grab, it would really grab, and there are some massive chips that come out of there before I was able to get it, well, before it broke anyways. Massive chips, extremely thick, so this thing was extremely aggressive. The profile that I sharpened on there is not quite as aggressive, and I think that helped out a lot. Maybe it's, you know, not that I made it not so aggressive, it's just the way it turned out. it's tough to hand sharpen them, and I had to use a diamond stone, one of my knife sharpening stones, to get it where it needed to be. Anyways, it is all done. Now I got to go get this thing degreased, cleaned up, and it looks, that's really pretty smooth inside there. There's a couple little chips in there I got to clean out, but it looks pretty good. Okay, I've taken this thing outside and hit it with some brake clean to blast everything out of there. Now I'm going to hit it with a little bit of acetone just to make sure it's good and degreased inside. Because like I said, I'm doing this up with Loctite to get it locked in there. And then I will also weld the ends of it. Yeah, a little bit of dirt in there. Got to get all that out of there. Now I want to get the outside of the barrel liner also degreased. I'll do a preliminary degreasing. Get a little of that paint off of there from the factory. Now there's an end on here that's grooved. It's got a little groove in it, and from everything I've seen, that is the muzzle end. That's where they hook the tooling to it, the machine to it, and then pull, it's button rifled, they pull that button through there. So I got the preliminary degreasing on there, and we're going to scuff it up with a little bit of sandpaper. I don't want the lines going in the direction of the barrel. I want them kind of crossing it, because I want it to lock it in the best it can. This just gives a little bit of a tooth for it to hold on to. And I don't want it super smooth on the outside either. All right, another degreasing because my hands have touched it, and I'm going to get some gloves on so I don't contaminate it even more, because I don't even want the oil from my skin to be on there. Yeah, nice clean patch, that's what I want to see. All right, I did already trial fit this. It does fit in there. It's a little snug. So what I'm going to do is start the end of it just a hair. Now this is going to stick out a couple inches. Then I'm going to start putting my Loctite on there and then push it in as it goes. I don't have to worry about getting any in the end of the barrel since I already started it in there. It doesn't take a whole lot either. I am going to get a paper towel because I'm going to need to clean up a little bit. All right, that is in there. Now comes the hardest part, and that is waiting. You got to let this stuff sit up for, I believe it's 24 hours. It says for best results, parts should be clean and dry. Twist off white nozzle protector and snip nozzle. Apply RC 620 to parts and assemble with the turning motion. Refer to technical data sheet for complete information. And that is what I did. I put it in there with a turning motion. And hopefully there's enough of it in there. There was plenty on the ends here. I put a little bit on the end and pulled it back in just to make sure. This is high temperature, large gap, retaining compound Loctite 620. All right, now just wait. I'm welding the barrel liner into the muzzle end of the barrel right now, and it's really tedious work, so I'm taking my time with it. Okay, that may look a little boogered up on the end there because I have melted some of the end of the liner, but I'll get this thing in the vise and clean that up with that barrel facing tool. Okay, I got the muzzle end all cleaned up and polished up. There's still a few little dings and dents in the outside part of it, but I'm going to let those fly. And now I'm going to work on the muzzle, or the breech end here. This is going to be the tricky one because there's a bunch of different shapes and angles and all that kind of stuff. So I got to get that all done up the right way. It's just going to take some time. Now that crowning tool, or the facing tool for the barrel, does not cut really well. It's kind of a job to get it to do its thing, especially when you're doing it by hand, because there's just so much surface area with the 4 blades on there that it takes a little bit of effort. But I did get it, and now I'm going to do the muzzle part of this thing, the breech part of this thing. I'll get it right one of these days, a little bit at a time. All right, now it's time to get this thing cut down, faced off, and then shaped the right way. Okay, so I got the barrel liner welded in there, did all the facing on the muzzle end and the breech end, cut the extractor groove slot allowance, whatever it is, and went ahead and chambered it. Now, if you remember what this barrel looked like before, it was very bad. Of course, this is a new liner, so look at that. Nice and shiny and pretty. Let's go all the way down to the other end because I'm interested in seeing how that chamber come out. I did use a finish reamer and I did it by hand. So let's see. So there's where it cut. And those look pretty even. Let's go back the other way. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Little rough in there, not terrible, way better than it was before. I don't suspect that it's going to get caught up like it did before. So yeah, that should be pretty nice. I still see a few lines and stuff in there, and that may be like chatter from you know, turning it by hand, but definitely going to be a whole lot better than it was before. I did crown the muzzle just a little bit. Let's take a look at that. And there's not going to be much to see there, I don't think. There we go, there it is. I used a domed polishing cone that went in there, so it's not much of a crown on there. It is very, very short, highly polished. My mirror is turning a little bit there. Some little scuff marks in there, but I'll give it a good cleaning. You can see a little bit of marks there from It's probably going to be from the brass piece. You can see a little discoloration there from the welding process, but I don't see, of course, there's no burn through there. Just a little bit of discoloring, and that's gonna happen. Nothing I can do about that. The metal gets hot, it turns colors. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Now the face of it, let's see if I can give you a shot with this camera. This will be super close up. The face of it is, I did use the facing tool on it, and I had to do a little bit of touching up. I think that's gonna be a little dirt on there. Yeah. So you can see a little bit of the crown there. Not much of a crown, like I said. There's some little pits in there. There's a little pit right there that it's a little too deep to get out. And that was there before, so not much I can do about it. A little pit right there. That might be part of my weld there. And then I did kind of bevel the outside, but that's an original ding that was in there, and I did that by hand, so it's not going to be the smoothest anyways. Some more dings there from many years of being beat up. I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with it. Now, I won't know exactly how happy I'm going to be with it until I actually get it out to the range and shoot it, because the whole issue with this gun was that, well, I just could not... it might as well have been a single shot rifle, because there was no, you know, racking another one in there, because it just wouldn't extract them. The 3 shots I fired, the bulging cases and everything. And yes, I did test fit this with a live round, just like I got in my hand here. But I'm not hitting it with anything. I'm just putting it in there, and it seems like it's going to be all right. So the next thing I got to do is I'm going to touch up the bluing on the ends here a little bit, keep it from rusting. And then I'm going to get this thing put back together. Okay, I'm going to touch up the end of this with a little bit of Brownell's Oxfo Blue. I don't know why the bottle has turned kind of reddish brown color like that, but the liquid inside is still blue. I did not cross-contaminate it, so. Anyways, this stuff you can just wipe a little bit on there and then wipe it off with a clean cloth, and you should be good. Now, this particular rifle, I would kind of like to refinish it, because I think it would look really good, but it's not in bad shape at all. The bluing on it is not the best, but there's not a lot of pitting on this one like there was on the one that was chambered in 22 WRF, so I really don't want to mess with it too much. It looks pretty nice. All right, I'm going to get some stuff out of the way here and start reassembly. Well, that part works. The only thing I don't want to do is I don't want to chamber a live round in here, and, you know, just in case. But we need to get this thing out to the range and see if it works like it's supposed to now. Such a cool rifle. Okay, so we're out here at the saloon, and it is finally time to see if the work I did to this thing did any good. There is a possibility I could have to work on the extractor slot a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and give it a try right now. I got a box of, these are Aguila Super Extra Short, 29 grain, copper plated bullets, just a round nose, short, high velocity. I'm not sure exactly what the velocity is on these, but we're going to go ahead and give them a try. I kind of like the Aguilas. They got a funky smell to them. Kind of an odd smell anyways. We'll go ahead and open up the tube there and drop just 5 rounds in there right now, and we're going to take 5 shots at the 7-yard target. So from here at the matrix, that'll make it 10 yards. Now, since I removed the sights on here, I don't know if I got them exactly back where they need to be, so this will just be kind of a sighting in, I guess. and a function check. All right, they're loaded up. I got my eyes and ears on. It picked one up and it chambered it. So let's see if we can get one dead center there. Not exactly dead center, but it fired. That's always a plus. Now let's see if it'll extract and eject. Oh, look at that, right in my hand. And it did pick up another one and it chambered it. Let's try it again. Yeah, that's what this thing was supposed to do. And should be one more in there. Oh, that makes me pretty happy there. Like I said, that was the whole issue with this gun. It was one shot, get out the pliers, grab the end of that round and wiggle that thing out of there. And I do not have to do that now. Extremely happy with it. Let's go take a look at the grouping on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of them right there in a nice little group, a little high and to the left. Like I said, I took the sights off, so I don't know if I got them exactly back to where it needs to be. I might need to bump that front sight over to the left just a hair to get it to hit there, the elevation. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to allow for that because I do have a little bit of elevation adjustment on there, but I did not bring me a screwdriver. It takes a very tiny one to adjust that sight, and I don't want to risk it with my Leatherman there. Yeah, I don't want to mess up any of those screws, but I am so happy with this. The grouping looks pretty good. Everything is round, so there's no bullet tumbling. The 1 in 20 twist is what is required for a 22 short, and with the grouping like that, I think it's doing all right. Okay, I'm going to load 5 more rounds of the Aguila Super Extra shorts here, and we're going to take some shots at the 15 yards. So that should make it 18 yards from here. Add another 3 yards whenever I fire from the matrix because it's a little bit farther back. I measured the targets from the edge of the saloon out there to the targets. All right, here we go. We're going to try this at the, like I said, 18 yards to see if maybe my bullets are still on the rise at the 7-yard targets. Maybe they'll start to curve down a little bit when it gets out to there. Nope, and it looks like I got pretty much the exact same grouping as I did at the 7-yard target. A little bit more spread out, but still to the left a little bit and a little bit high. Maybe I did bring my little hammer and punch set out here. I might tap that over just a tad. Okay, this Winchester 1890, especially in 22 shorts, this is a gallery gun. This is probably the original gallery gun. So we're going to load this thing up. I got 15 rounds in my hand here. They should all fit in there, no problem. We'll find out, and we're going to be shooting at the steel target next because, I mean, that's what a gallery gun's for. Now I should be shooting at the little iron ducts and stuff that are traveling around a little conveyor chain, but I don't have one of those. I would like to get one because, yeah, they're pretty cool. I'm going to put the 15th round in there, but the 14 ends up being right there at the top. Let's see if it'll close. It did. Now I'm going to get my ears in because it's going to be loud. Even though it is shorts, they are still a little bit noisy. All right, let's see if we can put 15 rounds on that steel target. There was the empty last round I fired. Let's go. Ooh, it extracted, failed to eject though. Okay, let's try it again. And I failed to count, so I did dry fire one at the end there. It is completely empty. And other than that one, and I think it's maybe because I just didn't pull it back hard enough when I went to eject that one or extract that one. But I'm pretty sure all 15 rounds hit. Yeah, I'm extremely happy. Completely disassembled the thing, bored it out, put a new liner in it, welded it up, and it works just like it should. Did fix the crown up a little bit there, so the last thing you seen me milling it was not the prettiest. Did smooth it out some and get it blued. Same thing on this end. Like I said, the finish on this gun is not terrible. It does not have the pitting on it like it did on the other rifle. There's some dings on there where someone looks like they hammered on a little bit. I don't know, but yeah, this one's in pretty good shape, and I think I'm going to leave it just like it is because it's got that nice original patina to it, and yeah, just keep it in this condition and it'll be all right. All right, there it is, the barrel relining on the 1890 Winchester 22 short. Like I said, the only hope for this thing was to put a new liner in the barrel and cut a new chamber because the old one was just destroyed from many years of possibly black powder use. Very poor maintenance, but it works now and it functions just like it should. Like it, I'm glad I did it. The first time I ever did one of those, and I realized there's some steps I did not show in there. It's just kind of aggravating when you want to get this thing, you want to get to working on it and setting up the cameras and everything when you're a one-man crew. Gets to be a little tedious, but I got it done, and I think I showed you most of the basics of it anyways. And just know that if you've got one and it's in bad shape, this can be done at home if you've got some moderate skills. You don't have to do the welding like I did on there. Loctite is just fine, Acro glass. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it. That's just the way I chose to do it. And I got it back to functioning like it should. This thing should hopefully survive another 120 plus years or whatever it is. And if it's kept in good shape, may never need another barrel relining. I hope not anyways. Anyways, I'll be looking for some more of these old rifles out there that need to be fixed because I enjoy doing it, just not so much the filming part of it. Thanks for watching Small Caliber Arms Review. If you could, reach up here and hit this button to check out some other videos and hit the little round one down here to subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks for watching.